Have you ever sat alone after another argument and thought, why am I always the one saying sorry? You apologize even when it's not your fault, just to keep the peace, just to avoid the cold shoulder, just to stop the tension. But what if I told you that this pattern could be a sign of something deeper, more toxic, and that it's not just about being nice? This video might change the way you see your relationships forever. The hidden psychology. Let's start with why you keep apologizing. Constant apologizing often comes from childhood experiences where love was conditional, where you were taught to be the peacekeeper, the fixer, the one who smooths over every conflict. Fast forward to adulthood, and you find yourself walking on eggshells in relationships, emotionally trained to absorb the blame, even when you're not the problem. But here's the twist. Being the constant apologizer gives the illusion that you're in control, that if you fix it, the relationship will survive, that if you apologize, they won't leave. That's not peace. That's self-erasure, the red flag you're ignoring. Now, let's ask the hard question. When one person is always apologizing and the other never takes responsibility, is that love or is that control? This is a red flag that often hides in plain sight: emotional imbalance. A healthy relationship involves mutual accountability. If you're the only one owning up, then you're not in a partnership, you're in a performance. Worse, constant apologizing can actually enable toxic behavior. You teach the other person that they don't have to reflect, grow, or change, because you'll do all the emotional labor for them. And over time, you lose your voice. You begin to question your worth. You begin to believe that maybe you really are always wrong. How to reclaim your power. So, what now? First, you need to notice your patterns. The next time you say, "I'm sorry," pause. Ask yourself, am I actually at fault? Or am I just afraid of conflict? Second, observe how your partner reacts when you stop apologizing. Do they get angry, withdraw, or guilt you? That's revealing. Because the way someone responds to your boundaries says everything about their character. Third, practice boundary language instead of apologies. Instead of, "I'm sorry I upset you," try, "I hear you're upset. Can we talk about it together?" That shift changes the power dynamic instantly. And finally, get honest with yourself. If the relationship requires you to constantly shrink to maintain peace, that's not love, that's emotional survival mode. What self-respect looks like: here's the truth, being emotionally generous is beautiful, but being emotionally exploited is not. Your worth is not measured by how much blame you can carry, or how often you can absorb someone else's immaturity. Healthy love feels like mutual effort. It feels like both of you taking ownership, both of you saying "I'm sorry," and both of you growing. Anything less is emotional labor disguised as loyalty. You're not crazy, you're not too sensitive, and you're not too much. You're just finally noticing that peace shouldn't always come at your expense. If this resonated with you, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that more people need to hear this. Subscribe if you're ready to break these emotional patterns and reclaim your voice. And tell me in the comments, have you been apologizing too much? Because this is your wake-up call, not to blame, but to be seen.